Hey guys, welcome back here to another episode of Water World. I feel like I haven't really spoke to you guys recently, even though I've had a few videos out. That's because I did a lot of scheduled videos because I knew I was going to be very busy with work. And I think the last maybe 8 or 10 videos were all done at the same time, and I had them all scheduled to come out over the past few weeks. So this is the first video kind of that I've done since those scheduled videos, so I haven't really felt like I've spoken in a while, but I just want to continue on here with my Water World Park. I'm just going to start off today with doing a couple new slides. I feel like it just needs a couple more slides in the park, so I want to experiment more with that half pipe idea, and I wanted to do one of these slides that kind of goes down in increments using different half pipe sections. So I've just kind of used those pieces of roofs again to make a half pipe and kind of just trying to figure out a slide there. I will go back in and finish that with the supports and things at a later date, but for now I just wanted to get the slide just kind of put in place just so I can kind of see where it sits in the park. And then I'm going to go on and do one more water slide as well, which I think the park needed. But today I'm going to definitely focus on cleaning up a few areas, doing some of the path edges, that kind of thing. I'm going to do a souvenir shop. Also going to add some more details to the lazy river, and I really want to finish up this little island in the middle, which I've kind of nicknamed Coconut Island or something like that. I've tried to keep the colours quite neutral, keep it quite secluded within the trees. This build, the footage that I'm showing you now was recorded a few months ago now, and I really feel like I could go back in there now and actually use some of the new foliage from Max Freak's foliage mod set, which I think would make this water park even better, enhance it with some better foliage. But as some of you know, I like to do my projects in advance, and I like to get all the work that I do and all the filming done, and then I like to make the videos for YouTube. It just makes the process for me a little bit easier, especially with work, and then I don't have to panic too much about playing the game if I don't have time, that kind of thing. So I have all the footage and everything done already. Unfortunately though, that means that sometimes things come out like new mod sets that I could use, which obviously I haven't used within the game, which we're seeing now because they didn't exist back then. I hope that makes sense. But here's the next slide that I'm doing, and this is a water coaster. I've got quite a small land to work with this one, so I'm just trying to do my best to try and fit in a kind of a nice layout, one that's not too short. I wanted to have it kind of lengthy, but obviously with the limited amount of space that I have, I've had to kind of just squeeze in some sort of like kind of figure of 8-ish sort of look. But yeah, I'm kind of happy with how it looks. I think this part needed that kind of water slide. I wouldn't say this is like a thrill slide, it's more of like a family water slide. But it fits nicely there along the edge. I'm going to go in and add some details now just to try and make it look like a water coaster, because obviously it just looks like a normal water slide right now. The one thing I don't have, which I try to do, is actually include nets on top of the slide. These water coasters, sorry, very often have nets on top of the hills and things just for safety. And I tried to figure it out with some coaster nets, but it wasn't looking so great. So I've just had to kind of scrap that and just leave them out because there wasn't a way to do it really. But I'm going to go in now and add in like these kind of shoot bits, kind of using some splash effects and different pieces from Shy Guys 1 set, I believe, or these might actually be wooden pieces from Shy Guys 3, can't really remember right now, but I'm just kind of laying them down on all the slopes. I'll add in some splash effects, just to make it look like those water bits that shoot uphill. And then as you can just see now that looks like the kind of water coaster slide that you would see at any normal water park. So I'm kind of happy with how that's looking. I just need to support it and add a pull at the end for the slide to go into, but that's the idea of that one. I will go back in and do more on that water slide at a later date. But I just want to get in now and kind of just do the gift shop that I was talking about. So I found a really good spot for the gift shop, right near the entrance of the park, and I thought this area here, just beneath these water slides, the very first water slides that I built in this park, I thought this would fit lovely around that side there, and it would really kind of just finish up that area. So I'm just going to go in now and build this. I'm going in with a method that I kind of started doing, which is doing the roof structure first. I found this actually a method that helps me build buildings a lot easier and quicker. If I start with the roof, I just raise it up to like a kind of a good height for 1-story building or whatever height you want to use, and then I kind of do all the roof patterns first to see how that's going to look, and then I go back in afterwards and do all the walls. Normally you'd build from the ground up and you'd start with the walls and then add the roofs on, but sometimes, I don't know, my imagination doesn't let me explore with the roof style as much when I do it that way. So if I start with the roof first and kind of figure out how the roof will look and then build the rest of it around it, I find it a little bit of an easier process. So it's something I've actually started doing in a few of my parks that I did, and I realized that it kind of worked out for me quite well, and so I've kind of stuck with it and I use it a bit more now in other builds. For example, this one right now, this is a real simple building, nothing too complicated at all, but I just wanted to make it look a bit cool, a little bit different, and I wanted to fit in with the style of the rest of the water park. So that's basically that one. I'm going to put like a little kind of maintenance, well, not a maintenance, but like a backstage kind of building on the back of it, just so that it has a bit of depth to the shop, and this kind of area that you're seeing now that I'm building is more of a facade. So I'll do that, and obviously the supports at the back of the shop there from the water slide. But I have sometimes I wonder if it's like a realistic thing to build a building with supports going through, but then actually being at a few theme parks, I looked out for that kind of thing just to see if it was actually something that is done, and I have seen it in a few parks where supports of a ride have gone through a building, through the roof or through something, so it's not unusual. I guess it's not something you see that often, but I definitely have seen it, and it's not something unrealistic. So if you're wondering if that looks a bit funny that the supports go through it, I have kind of checked it out, and it is something that is done in real life. But I did question myself with it as well. So that's that kind of basically done. I'm just going to add like a little maintenance path at the back, so that the workers there can get to the building quite easily, and just going to add some door frames and stuff just to make it look a bit more finished. But that's basically like that building done now. I'm kind of happy with how that looks. It really kind of finishes up that area. I've just gone in off camera and tidied up the edge of the beginning of the lazy river, just to kind of make that area a bit more whole and complete. And I'm going to go in and do the same thing with the inside of this island of the lazy river. So I'm going to add some nice wooden bridges going over so guests can easily get over the river. And I'm just going to neaten up the path edges, add a few in little like jacuzzi hot tubs here, which I think would be a nice little relax area. I'm going to add like a picnic area as well. So I want this inside island area to be more of like a relaxation area, which I think is achieved quite well with the jacuzzis and things. So I'm just kind of adding in these nice kind of neutral kind of colours, browns and beiges and some greens, keeping it real kind of not so colourful like the rest of the park. And I'm going to add a lot of foliage in here as well. Again, I think Max Freak's foliage set would have worked really well here, so maybe I have to go back in now and just kind of edit this a little bit with some more of those foliage pieces. But I'm really happy with what I did at the time. So I'm just kind of making that little picnic area there, and some sand areas in as well. And then I'm just going to go in and kind of neaten up the path edges and make it all a bit more flowy, because I think that's really important with path work. I hate leaving the raw edges from the in-game paths because I think they just don't look so great. Sometimes they're okay, but I think with my style that I build in, leaving them a bit raw on the edges doesn't really fit. And so I like to really use path covers and really round up those edges and make it look all a bit neater. But yeah, I hope you are enjoying this build. I hope to get it finished in the next couple episodes. It wasn't like a big build or a long build, but it's taken me a while to get it out online just because of the time that I have to put the videos together. But I hope you're enjoying it. If you are, do give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And thanks for sticking around and watching my videos. If you haven't subscribed, click that subscribe button right now. You won't regret it. I try and get a video out. I was doing 2 a week, but now I've got quite busy with work. I'm just doing kind of 1 a week at the moment. But I always try and get at least 1 video out so that you guys have something to watch from me. But this is Waterworld. I hope you're enjoying it, and I'll see you all next time for another episode here of Waterworld in Parkitect. See you next time. Bye.